retail. Julie David, our #1 retailer and sponsor. There we go. Okay. That is... Hi, everybody. Okay, do you want to increase your retail? Of course you do, because when you sell more jewelry, you make more money, and when you're making more money, your budget is happier, and when your budget is happier, you are happier. And when you're happier, you know that this business works, right? And when you know that this business works, guess what? You can't keep your mouth shut, and you're gonna share more. And when you're sharing more, what are you doing? You're sponsoring more, exactly. So this is a great way for you to have a really awesome balanced business and start to build momentum. Because you know what else? When you're adding more people to your team, they start doing jewelry shows and selling the jewelry and making more money, and you're making money and they're making money, and you're encouraging each other and being excited and building that momentum. And when that momentum gets going, you can't stop it and your business will explode. So are you guys excited in 2019 to start building momentum together? Awesome, then I'm going to tell you 4 components that I live and die by to increase my retail. Now the first one is not revolutionary, but it is incredibly powerful. The first thing you need to do is increase the number of shows that you hold. Oh. But you know what? You really need to do this. If you're doing more shows, you're going to be making more money. And I know a lot of you do Premier as a side hustle. So if you are working a full-time job and you have a family and Premier is in the nooks and crannies of your life, you only have so much time to apply to your business. So isn't it smart to do the most profitable thing that you can do in Premier with the time that you have? Yes, right? And the most profitable thing that you can do in Premier with 3 or 4 hours of your time is to get into a room live with women. So when I'm talking about shows, I'm talking about home shows. Now, I am so thankful that Premier has increased the opportunity of all the many ways that we can make money selling the jewelry. I love it, it's fabulous. But the secret to my success is that I've never taken my eyes off for 1 minute from the home show. I love the home show. The home show is where I build my business, where I meet the people on my team, where I get more shows. Now, some of you might be saying, well, that's really great for you. But my calendar, well, let's just face it, it's empty. Yes, they're laughing because I think they understand. I think some of you are in that position, and some of you might also be saying, well, I thought I heard that home shows were dying. So what are you talking about? People, I am here to tell you that the home show is alive and well, and if you're not doing it, you are doing a disservice, because you know what? We have incredible value going into the homes. People right now are friends virtually. We need to get people back together face to face. We're not just jewelry ladies, we are gatherers. We are facilitating changing America one home show at a time. Even if you aren't selling jewelry at that home show, you are giving these women an opportunity to get their neighbors together, their friends together, their families together, to share a brownie, to share a laugh, and to learn some valuable and fun information. You are doing a valuable and important thing in society today. You are facilitating the gathering of Americans together again and creating real life connections. Please know your value. It is not dead. it is more important than ever. And I'm standing up here telling you, I've done over 300 shows in the last 3 years. I'm doing more shows right now than I've ever done. I'm selling more jewelry this past year than I've ever done, twice as much as years in the past. People are buying it, and they're buying it in the home. Now, you've got to believe that. Now, some of you are saying, well, that's easy for you. You've got it. I don't have one. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to tell you today some tips on how you can get those shows. But before I do, you have to believe that women still do home shows. Women want free jewelry. People want to shop in a safe environment for a really great product that is affordable and has an incredible golden guarantee. The next thing that you have to know is your why. Why are you selling Premier Designs jewelry? I know that it is fun, and we love fashion, and we love our girls' weekends, and we love all of this. But there's a reason that you chose to sell the jewelry, and likely there is a financial reason that you chose to sell the jewelry, to have a side hustle. What is it? You need to know it, and you need to be able to articulate it, not just to yourself, but to others. My why is the same today as it was 12 years ago when I got started in Premier. Now, when I got started in Premier 12 years ago, I wasn't the very confident woman that stands before you. Oh, and fashionable too, right? When I started in Premier, my kids were 5, 5, and 1, and I didn't understand fashion. I didn't wear any jewelry. I would say that I had zero network. I'd say I had no friends, and I had no money to invest. But more importantly than any of that was that I had zero confidence, no self-esteem. But you know what I had? I had a huge why. My why was Grace, Ethan, and Callie. And I wanted to be at home. More importantly, I wanted to homeschool them. And that overcame the fear of getting started. And every time over the last 12 years that I have faced an empty calendar, and I have, when I have faced a calendar that would not pay the bills, so I needed more shows, and I have focused on that why to push me through the hard times. Because it is not easy, it is not simple to get that calendar back where you need it to be. It takes energy, effort, and it takes courage. And if you know your why, then that's going to push you through any of the fear that you've got right now. So my challenge to you today is to figure out your why. Because women want to know what it is. My why today is the same. Now they're 17, 17, and 13, but I'm making 50 drives in my car every week to get them to all the places that they need to go. And I could not do that with a 9-to-5 job. And that is the life that I want to live. And Premier gives that to me. And that is why I sold $111,000 worth of jewelry. Okay? Because my home shows pay the bills. That is my why. What is yours? Now, I have more good news for you. Once you push through this difficult time where your calendar is not where you want it to be, it is going to get easier. It is so much easier to get shows from a show. So once you get that momentum going, once you push past this little difficult place that you're in right now, even if your calendar is empty, it will get easier, I promise, and I'm going to show you how. So, what I want you to do is not worry about filling your calendar right now. If your calendar is totally empty, or maybe it just has a few shows and you need more, I don't want you to focus on the number of shows you need. I want you to only focus on one good show. All you need to concentrate is getting one good show. Now, I have even better news for you. I guarantee you everyone in this room right now has that one good show. Because you already know a fabulous hostess. She's gorgeous, she's smart, she's articulate, she wears the jewelry beautifully. Do you know who she is? She's you. That's right. If your calendar is not where you want it, you had better have a January show. January, not February. And I don't care what your problems are, you're remodeling your kitchen, figure it out. You need to have a show, okay? Now, once you have that show, we're gonna build from there. So let me tell you, let me give you some practical things that I want you to do. First of all, you are going to you're going to make a list of the people that we are going to invite to that show, okay? Now, when you make this list, I want you to think of a circle, okay? Got a big old circle. Now, we'll start with the center circle. That's mom, your sister, your BFF, okay? We're gonna put them on the list because that's what we do in direct sales, right? We make our lists. So we're gonna do that, put them on the list. And then the next people are like your close neighbors, you know, who you might go to lunch with, who you could call on and take your kids to wherever they need to go, your friends, can put them on. But I want you to also think about the next circle, okay? The next circle, this is the important circle. These are the people in your life that you probably don't know both of their names. Like you know their first name or their last name, but you don't know both. So you've got your hairdresser, you've got the girl that does your nails, you've got the faraway neighbors, you've got your kids' friends' mom, you've got your kids' teacher, you've got your kids' coach, okay? You getting my drift? Those people, they are the most likely to shoot you off into different directions. You've got to think about every area of your life, church, neighborhood, work, past work, everywhere you go. And what we're going to do is we are going to reach out to them. Now, before I tell you how to reach out to them, I want to give you a little caveat. If you are reaching out to the same people time after time after time and they are not responding, stop it, okay? Don't text those people again. You need to go out and find new people. So some of you are like, okay, I made the list because I know we're in direct sales and that's what we do, we make the list. And really, I've exhausted this list. Really? Like, really? Really? You've exhausted your list? Like, how many people are on your list? Okay? And have you really exhausted it? But let's just say you have, okay? Then guess what? Go find new people. Because there are a lot of people out there in the world. There are people at the bus stop. There are people in the Target line. There are people in the gynecologist's office just sitting there waiting an hour for her appointment. There are people everywhere you need to start a conversation with. A networking group is a great place for you to meet those people. So we're going to make the list. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to reach out to them and ask them first if they would like to host their own jewelry show. Now, here's the key. I don't want you to do a cookie cutter ask. What I do when I'm in this situation is I make very personal requests. My ask is very personal. So this is what I really want to get across to you today. You can't just write one quick text. Like when the girls on my team say, I need help, what could I text out? I say, tell me who you're going to text, and then I'll help you to know what to say. Okay? So I'm going to go over what needs to go. Now, you are welcome to call them. You are welcome to talk to them in person. I think that's the very, very best. I think seeing them in person is the best. Calling them is the second best. Then texting. And then you could also do like one of those little live voice Facebook Messenger posts. That's kind of unique and different. I don't care how you do it, but this is what I want you to include. These are the 5 components of the ask, and I'm going to explain them. So I know, you might just want to take a picture of that. We can post this. I want you to really listen to me and understand what I am telling you. First of all, you need to ask for what you want and be specific. I want a show. I want you to get a few girls together so I can bring over the jewelry. Number 2, when you want it. We often leave that out. How many of you have gotten somebody, a coworker or whatever, to say, sure, I'll do a show, but she doesn't give you a date. So then you have to ask her again. Still no date. Then you have to ask her and mention it again. Still no date. And then you become like the evil jewelry lady stalker, right? We don't want to do that. So from the get-go, we're going to include when we want it, which would be this month, okay? Why? Remember I said you need to know your why? Women want to help you. What is going on in your life? Did you have some sort of life change this year that kind of got you off kilter? Maybe a kid was sick, maybe you had a divorce, maybe you lost your job. I don't know, you had some sort of something. Make sure you share it in a positive, pull up myself by my bootstraps kind of way. Don't go, nobody wants that. But people do want to help you. Let them know why you're asking. Maybe the truth is that over the last year, you just got lazy and let your business go. And now you're ready to re-engage. And that's okay to share. It's the truth. Okay, so why? Why her? Why are you asking her? Is she super duper cute and would just look fabulous in the jewelry? Is she your go-to person? Does she owe you a favor? Is she like the president of the PTA, so she knows everybody? Maybe she's in a neighboring community that you have no shows there and you would love to get in there and meet people. You need to ask her or tell her why her. She's gonna enjoy knowing that. Okay? And then we also need to say what she's going to get out of it. When she says yes, that's our bride. Let's stop for a second and talk about the bride. What would be a really good bride right now? A pair of earrings from the new collection. Okay? She gets to pick that. Maybe a trendy bracelet. I've built my business on this trendy bracelet. One of the things that I do is that I say, if you have your show when I want you to have your show, I'll throw in a trendy bracelet color of your choice. So you could send her a picture of the trendy. You could also take 3 things off of your table, take a picture, text them to her, and say, girlfriend, if you do this for me, pick one of these pieces, okay, and I'll bring it to your show. Lots of different brides. Here's an example of a text. Susie, it's been a crazy year, and honestly, I have let my business slide. So I'm on a mission to build it back up. See how that's kind of positive? I know you are my go-to girl. You always save me every time I'm in trouble. Would you be willing to grab a few gals together this month to get me back in the saddle again? If you do, I'll give you a free trendy bracelet. Okay, so we are going to send this message out to the people on the list that we really want to do a show with. Like your hairdresser who knows everybody. And so you're going to start with the people on the list that you starred, that you really want to go have a show with. Now, news flash. The majority of the people that you are about to ask are going to say no. Now, this is just statistical. Think about it. If you have a home show where there are 10 people and you book 2 shows for the next month, are you super duper happy? Yes. I just booked 2 shows for next month. This is the best. That means 8 people just rejected you. Okay? They rejected you. Okay? Yet you're happy. So remember those statistics when you're reaching out to people. The majority of them, 80–90%, are going to say no. Here's the difference between me and someone else that doesn't have 100 shows in a year. I keep going because of my why. I can't stop, or I can't buy food. So it's very important that you know your why. It's so critical to everything else that I'm teaching. But remember that they are probably going to say no. So we've got to keep pushing and not stop. Now, you've got your show. Oh, by the way, here's the other thing. When they say no, here's what you're going to do. You're going to pull out that show that you scheduled for yourself, and you're going to say, well, could you come to my show January 20th and bring 2 to 3 friends? I'll give you 10% off for every friend that you bring. You don't care whether she has the show or you have the show. What you care about is meeting the new people, because the show is just the springboard to more shows. So they can come to your house and you can meet them and schedule a show. So how are you going to schedule those future shows? Because one show can multiply into many. All right, and so how are we going to do that? We are going to do that through an incredibly awesome booking activity. Now, I would venture to guess with authority that you are not doing a proper booking activity at your show. We don't need to do a poll with a show of hands. But I'm going to venture to say that you aren't, because I've been in your shoes. I face this decision every time I do a show, whether or not I'm going to do the booking activity. The dice game does take some time. I don't have time to explain it right now, so you're going to want to go to my website. My website has a video, and it has all the explanation on it. And the whole idea of the dice game is that it's a game of chance or honor. They have a decision to make whether to open that envelope or not. And I'm amazed at how many people open the envelope rather than saying jackpot, which if they say jackpot, that means I for sure want to book a show and I want all the prizes. I give the main big jackpot prize. The grand prize is an It Girl, color of their choice. The little prize is a bracelet off the incentive bar, and the other option is that they win me. And if they say jackpot, they get all three of that. So watch the video and I explain it all, but I'm amazed at how many people will open the envelope. They can't stand it, they need to know what's inside it, and that's how I book more shows. And a little side note, if you have teenagers there or 10 or 11-year-old girls, have them play. I booked 3 shows for little girls that just could not stand it and they needed to know, and the mom goes, okay. Okay, so make sure you do that. All right, the second way that we're going to increase retail is that we're going to increase the number of orders. That means people at the show and outside sales. The only person that can do this is your hostess. You can't do this. And so the only thing that you can do is to really equip your partner. And so the way that I equip my partner is to meet with her in person. If you've seen anything I've trained on, I'm passionate about this. Can I do that every time? No. So if you can't, call her on the phone, text her a lot, but stay connected. Give her the appropriate invites. I love to use Canva.com to create my invites. I still use Facebook events to try to stay connected with my customers until the show. I give her books, I give her direct online link, and I give her some incentives. My incentives right now revolve all around my GEM program. I really want my hostesses to be gems. So if she gets outside sales, or she has a $1,000 show, or we get so many bookings, she gets money off of her GEM membership. So $5 here, $10 there, and that way she's more inclined to actually become a gem. The third thing is to increase the size of your order. This I can control. And this is all on me. So if you want to make more money at your shows, you need to focus on what you're doing at your jewelry shows. Now, I'm going to tell you what I do, but one thing I want to encourage you is for you to do you. I'm a former teacher, so I love educating. Teaching is my thing, okay? So I talk about teaching at the show. If you do something different, it's working for you, stay with it. But I'm going to show you what I do. Number 1, stay passionate about the jewelry. Number 2, I teach people practical tips on how a few well-placed accessories can help them to look and feel their best and utilize optical illusions to make them look thinner, okay? That is the focus of our show. Secondly, I go in and I tell them we're going to do some teacherly things. First of all, teachers love quizzes, so we're going to have a quiz. I love the quiz, and I have multiple versions of this quiz on my website. Over the course of the year, I've done multiple versions. I will do a new one once I get my hands on that resort collection. I'll come up with some trends for the spring and do a new quiz. I've shortened it now to just 6 questions because I'm really long-winded and my shows tend to be really long. So I've shortened it up, but they love it. I read the question, they answer it. If they get it right, they get a Diva dollar. I know the jewelry that I'm going to talk about with each question. So I ask a question, and then I show the jewelry. I ask a question, and then I show the jewelry. And each question teaches them a tip. For instance, what's the best sleeve length? Short, long, or 3/4? 3/4, right? And then we talk about the bracelets. What piece of jewelry can take 10 pounds off your hips? Earrings. Then we talk about the earrings, which is going to be great for this new collection because there's a lot of really big earrings. And we go from there and we mention some trends, okay? Now, the other thing that I like you to do that teachers love is classroom participation. So if you say, love it, when I show you some jewelry, you're gonna get a Diva dollar from the hostess, okay? And so whoever has the most Diva dollars gets 5 tickets for my drawing. And my drawing is just an incentive site bracelet. And then finally, if you write 5 pieces down that you love, then you're gonna get a ticket in the drawing. So, because teachers love notes. All right, and then I always focus on necklaces. Here are some of my why tips that I already mentioned, and if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of videos that I do that you can pick up on some more of my why tips. But I think teaching them why to wear jewelry, educating them on why this jewelry makes a difference in their lives, makes them want to buy it, and necklaces really make the biggest impact on that, so I spend a lot of time talking about that. Finally, increase the number of orders that you get after the show, so I want to stay connected with my customers. Here's where my VIP Facebook group comes into play and my GEM members. I really encourage them to become GEM members, and one of the things when they sit down at checkout that I say is, hey, you're saving 20% off today. It's pretty awesome. Is there anything else you want to add so you can save 20% on that too? Pretty big savings today. Oh, there is a pair of earrings. Sweet. So that's another way that you can increase your retail, but I get a lot of orders from these ladies long term. And so finally, the thing that I want you to remember is that your business starts with you. That momentum I was talking about, you're the only one that can get it started. So you have a challenge. You need to leave here today and make that list. You need to set your show. You need to start inviting people to that event and asking people to have shows. And you just might be the person standing on this stage next year instead of me. Thank you.